Hey. Oh, man. Okay, so let's jump straight into it because this is the Kamurai that I watch things and stuff and I'm going to talk about it. Yay! No, I'm not going to say that. Okay, so no red versus blue this week. It's a PSA. And typically when they do the PSA, it feels like they do it because it lets them work extra on the next actual episode, which means we're going to get a little bit more out of it. So I'm super excited about that because with Caboose gaining Santa and Locus and Felix going after the site. Well, they're already at the site, but with everything going on in Agent Maine, there's going to be something big coming down the pipe, and I really want to see that, especially since all these other shows seem to be stopping. It really just hit me the past week that it's like, oh, this is when seasons end, because I've been hinging everything on The Big Bang Theory, and it just took me so long to realize that was the end of the season. Like, no, we stuck someone important dying, or semi-important dying in the middle of the season. And then we concluded on the inevitable breakup of Sheldon and Amy because of how they changed their character. They're not compatible in the strictest of sense. Combine that with the show being rather boring and Sheldon being overly stubborn, we're gonna end up. Hopefully, that the next season's the last season. It needs to die. It needs to be done. I'm tired of seeing my show ruined. But hopefully that's the last season. We'll see this big dynamic change happen in Sheldon, and you'll see this juxtaposition between Sheldon and Leonard, where Leonard becomes the quiet, happy housewife. Penny's the big breadwinner. So like, there's a energized position there for stereotypes on how households work, which I don't subscribe to anyway, so I'm just trying to say it so we can relate to it. Then we see Sheldon like do these things that he never thought he would do, and then he takes the big leaps, and so next season should just be called Sheldon. Because other than Raj trying not to die from his breaking up with his girlfriend, Bernadette and Howard are pretty much in a stable position. Stewart's got his comic book store back, I think. Oh, but he's living with them. So as long as all that happens, I could see Stewart and Raj moving out and getting a place together. Maybe Raj getting cut off. Like, you could make a whole story out of them being poor, and like they could be their own spinoff show. Leonard and Penny are just going to be a story that dies on the wayside because they made Penny alcoholic and Leonard an assertive bore. Like, I don't know what they were doing with these characters. They had such good potential. Like, they were good characters when they started out. And if you were going to grow them, sure. But, like, we just normalized and stabilized them into this weird happenstance with societal norms, because so that they stop being the butt of the joke. I really need to go back and look at the writers for this show because I don't know what happened. I need some research that I don't want to have time to do. So my point there is, I'll swing back to it, is about finalities, but is that I really, really want things like YouTube and my podcasts and Red versus Blue to stick around, because summer content is far and few between, which means that I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be catching up on things I missed, which seems to be what's happening already with Wild Abandon. We also went on to On Spot. Why do I have number 10 here? It is not number 10. I keep forgetting. For some reason, on the Rooster Teeth site, they've got two places for On the Spot. They've got like the first 10 under videos, and they've got it as a podcast. So yeah, we're all the way up to episode 22. I really like the bag gimmick. I can't remember what the guy's name is. I think it's Matt. Tor. top. And they brought in somebody from outside Rooster Teeth, which needs to happen more often. In fact, I would even put like bring pairs of people on the show and then put them against Rooster Teeth stuff. But they've done that in the past, and they've done it where they split them up to. I think having like bringing. I don't know why they were the first ones I thought of, but Jesse Cox and Dodger in on one side to be a team. That would actually be a really good thing. You just got to deal with flights and stuff, and they've got money for it. But I think one of the things that like is great about the show is that it's almost a pure profit show because the set's nothing crazy. They just had to do like one session of all the animations and stuff. They've got to run the booth like they normally do. They've got to run the cameras like they normally do. I mean, those cameras and that booth aren't working is essentially money lost. So John helps fill that gap. He doesn't cost much now that they've already got everything because once for things like this, once you're approved for like one season, that's what you do is you just you lead off that. It's like we're already doing it. Whatever. So like screenplay, like probably had to take something drastic for it to have to stop or next to no revenue coming in, which is a shame because I liked having a movie thing, but maybe it was just too hipster. I don't know, a little douchey at points, but I really liked it. Okay, so now I'm going to swing back to finales. Community, finally, their finale came out. This is how you do a season finale. Like again, like Big Bang, I didn't even realize it was the finale until like 2 weeks later. I think Mom did the same thing to me. Two Broke Girls, it was a very pivotal point. Odd Couple, very pivotal point. So that was CBS for you. I can't remember any other shows that like Flash, definitely. Arrow, definitely. So I like that they made a point of it, and I think they made a point of it because this is intended to be the last episode of Community, at least with this cast, because they could easily bring back Community with a different cast and just be like, well, after season 7, like we had a flood of new students come in, and then like some of the other characters could stick around. Like Jeff's actually got an image of like what season 7 would be like, and then like Garrett and his wife / cousin are there, I think. Leonard's there. Like you could definitely do some for the people who want to stick around and be on an episode or two here or there, like, and they're still in the Community but they're not necessarily like cast members, like consistent cast members. And I think Jeff's sorority fantasy exists somewhere, but don't Google that. So all I can say about this is that I really, really enjoyed it. Except for Chang's, because fuck, what the hell was that? Really, Ice Cube head, and that had to cost some money to do that gag, just to animate some shit. Unless it was just a character they happen to have laying around, which is doubtful. But hashtag and a movie. Hashtag and a movie. Yes. I'd love to see Community have a movie. I'm glad. I don't even want to say that. I want to make you watch it. I'm glad we had that moment. There's a very special moment. I will say this though. Spoilers. Frankie, like I didn't get my Frankie moment. That better be in the fucking movie. Like she's just such a blank slate because we only had her for one season. And yeah, she knocked it out of the park, but like other than having her like her one dynamic serious flaw, like or character trait, it's not a flaw. Like she got painted as the antagonist sometimes. Like I really wanted her to be a little bit better. And it was kind of odd that Elroy left so early in the episode. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be, especially since they had like a whole conversation about the black characters in their show. The whole episode's based. Maybe I should start. It's based off like Abed's perception that they're living a TV show, which we know they actually are, but they don't. And then you combine that idea with the idea. I don't remember the theory. There's a theory that like the entire like sitcom universe actually exists in a snow globe that this retarded child is watching in a movie. Oh, please come up with snow globe theory. Tommy Westfall. That's the thing. So it's the Tommy Westfall universe, because in like the old sitcoms, well, but now they're old. You can link all these different shows, because they used to do things where like they had a popular show and then they had to stop it, and they still had a popular character. Like in to use a recent case, How I Met Your Mother, Barney should have got his own damn spinoff. Not that he wants to play that character anymore, and good for him. I think if the best womanizer on the planet, acting wise, is gay, I don't know what that says about the world. But if he wants to stop being a straight character in movies and start, even when he played himself in Harold and Kumar, he's just such a ridiculous version of himself. But I want gay Neil. I want Neil Patrick Harris is that awesome. I want him to play gay Neil. And honestly, it's just Neil. Fuck, put a show out called NPH. I don't know if he needs to write it, but like just have the NPH show. Have him be gay, fabulous movie star, and like it's what he gets up to when he's not filming. I don't know, like he's talking to puppets and shit. I did like that thing that he had going, Neil's puppet dreams. Okay, so the Tommy Westfall universe, it's all based on the idea that a kid from Saint Elsewhere, in the last episode, it's called The Last One, he's just staring into the snow globe. And like his parents are like, he's always staring into that damn snow globe. And what he's doing is he's imagining all these sitcoms exist in this world, and because he's autistic or whatever, like his brain can handle processing all this wonderful entertainment, and so he's just sitting there and he's happy because he looks into the snow globe and he watches the world that he's created, and it's entertaining. I had a point with that in Community, but I don't remember what it was. I think it had something to do with like Abed living. Oh yeah, living their show. Oh, it was that. There's a reference to that at the end of the show, which I don't want to spoil, because that whole thing, that whole short at the end is fantastic. Because I was like, oh, we got a good ending, and then we had an extra, and I really enjoyed that too. All right, we got a bunch of Netflix stuff here. Talked about Flanagan last week. The Babadook. I don't know why I said it like that. They're very not British. Maybe I should. Okay, I got a bone to pick with Netflix too, because I'm not enjoying having to dig through some of this crap. Should have opened these up earlier. We'll talk about the Babadook. I'll just go in order, except for the big series. I'll talk the movies, then I'll come back. The Babadook. This was really good. Like, so little explanation, though. I wanted some real exposition. Even the book, because there's a book, Mr. Babadook, that they read. And apparently, like, the kid thinks that the monster from the book is real. And then, like, he's acting out. He's being a shitty kid. Like, I would not have blamed her for slapping him a couple times. Shitty kid. And then she starts seeing things. And And so she thinks she's going insane. Neither one of them can sleep. Because she can't sleep, she can't go to work. That combined with him misbehaving all the time, at least. So like, she's really distraught. There's all these problems going on, and then they got to deal with this supernatural fucking monster thing. And then they can't get any help because they can't explain it any way that anyone believes them. And the cop even gives her the benefit of the doubt. She's like, okay, someone's messing with you. Where's the evidence that you had? She's like, oh, I burned it. So he's like, so you came to me with the story and no idea of what to do. Because it's not like the police could stop someone from calling your house. You got to block the number. But really interesting. If not good, definitely worth the watch just because I haven't seen a lot of stuff like it. The little kid's kind of irritating, and like there's a couple parts where he's screaming where I'm just like, shake the baby. And I don't shake babies, but he's old enough that, God damn it, he needed a little something going on. Let's see. Oh, A Few Best Men. This is like an American Pie story that never made it into the American Pie world. Dude goes on vacation, meets the girl of his dreams, proposes because they never want their fantasy to end. That always works out well. And then he comes back home to his idiot friends, tells them that he's getting married. They fly to like Australia, and his idiot friends fuck up the wedding. That's the whole movie. I'll leave it in suspense whether or not they work it out, but it's a romantic comedy, which means they fuck in the end. That's what that means. That's literally what a comedy used to be. Is like, it doesn't matter as long as people get it on in the end. No one of true note in this movie. The guy I thought I recognized the most is the guy who's like not in the movie the most. So it's like, well, fuck it then. There is a cute little show called Mysteries of the Unseen World, which sounds like a totally thing. I'm just going to talk about this real quick because it's only 2 episodes on Netflix. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I can't see what the episodes are called either. But there are... let me just do this. There are 2 episodes, and they talk about like things from like big weather to small things like bees. They do a lot of like things like oh no, this is a one-shot documentary. This is not the other thing. I forgot about the other thing last week. That's right. But yeah, this is the one where they do a lot of the slowdown, and they start doing like shots in other light. Like they show you like what the mantis shrimp looks like. So if you're into nature and biology and all that, or cinematography even, because they talk about like how they use electron microscopes and things to see things that we never experience because we're just too big and they're too small. There's a thing with the snail's tongue that looks disgusting. So that's why I couldn't see the episodes because it was a different thing. So that documentary thing is actually quite interesting. Occasionally, I forgot about that. I should put that out there too. I'll go back and talk about the other thing. Occasionally I put stuff on to go to sleep too, like that's educational and therefore boring. It's just the way they talk. And then the elephant wanders across the prairie, towing its calf. Like, it's that weird, very soothing tone that they try to use for education when they need to be using. And then the elephant charges across the path with its calf in tow. Like, it needs to be doing something more like that, where it's engaging, and the cat looks at you like you're crazy because you're yelling at the flat thing. What I was talking about was nature's weirdest events. That's what that was. And there are 2 episodes available on Netflix. And the first one is about... Why are you doing this to me? The dust storms in Sydney that painted the entire town red. Like, literally, it was like red clouds everywhere because it was just that much dust. The exploding toes in Germany. And then, like, there was, like, silkworms that had covered a car completely. And, like, they explained why they do that and how the silkworms work like that. And then investigation into the crows that all fell out of... Oh, I'm sorry, they were starlings that fell out of the sky. And then all the fish that were in the bay that died, the sardines. Apparently they did something about a sea foam and then about like some kind of sinkhole. So we'll get rid of those. But like, and then there's a whole town that like iced over, like super thick. It was, it's really neat if you like that sort of thing. If you don't, what can you do for it? Oh, good. We've got thunder, so my cats are going to freak out. So be ready for that. Because that happens. Okay, I'm trying to reorganize these just a little bit so that I have them in the order that I want to talk about them in. I should have done this before. Oh, you know, we'll talk about this one next because I want to get past it. And we'll talk about that one first when we go into the series. Okay, so continuing the theme with like documentaries and educational topics, I saw this thing called Hot Girls Wanted, and it said Netflix on top of it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then when I hovered over, I saw Rashida Jones' name. So I'm like, well, this has to be interesting then. If you probably know Rashida Jones from, we had Hale a couple days ago. I was trying to see if we had it again. If you probably know her from Parks and Rec. She's probably the most serious character on the show, but she's the one that wants to get the lot across her street filled in. And I don't know if they ever did it. I'll be honest. Whether she becomes best friends with Amy Poehler's character. So the world's just kind of ridiculous in that sense. So she produced this. She's not in it. Like I don't remember seeing her name in the film. But it's a documentary where they're interviewing and talking to not cam girls, which I was actually surprised that that's not what they wanted, but it was girls who are new to the adult films industry that are doing like amateur stuff that only they can do because they don't show up everywhere. There are porn stars that got their start from doing things like that, and they could get away with that sort of thing because they're not known porn stars. But as their career picks up, they go, oh, well, look, there's her first scene back with Cum Fiesta, or I don't know, some ridiculous things, because the porn industry is really strange, and there's a lot of people who are not looking out for your best interests, and that's one of the things they look at in this is like who the production companies are versus who the girls are versus the managers, because the focus is on this one house this guy was managing, I think, out of Texas. And so like he would get girls that would like move to Texas with him and live in the house, and there would be like 8 girls in the house at a time. And I think they were doing like really cheap rent, and they had to pay for like their flights and food and stuff. But they were making like $900 a day in some of these cases, depending upon what they're doing. But so they would bunk like 2 to a room or whatever, and then if they were there, they were there. If not, they would hang out in the house. And so, but they'd be flying to LA a bunch too, and then Florida, because apparently like there's studios in like Miami where they don't have the condom. At the time this was filmed, they didn't have the condom rule that California had, and I don't even know if they have it anymore. But like raw dog styling is considered, because there's times where like a condom like ruins whatever little suspension of disbelief you have for it. But it ended up coming down to like 2 big topics. It's like you're doing all this stuff. You're like, you close your eyes, you take your money. It's really seedy. It's not mentally healthy. Some of the things focus on abuse because they're filming fantasies, and somebody's fantasies out there is like, oh, I'm gonna make her block and block and block, and then I'm gonna smack her while I do it. And those are uncomfortable scenes, even for me, because they weren't done well at all. There's the right way to do that sort of thing and the wrong way to do that sort of thing. And that was not the right way. So next time I hear about like a porn star shivving her male co-star, I'm going to be like, he probably deserved it. But the other side of it is that, like, hey, if it's fun for you, it's fun for you. If you control your career and what you're doing and you manage yourself correctly, a lot of the mental health issues aren't there because you're in control, which is why I was so surprised that they didn't include more on it. That's why cam girls, not only do they make shit tons of money, but it's typically only them. They're not having sex with people. They're just talking to people online. It's why I don't understand why like porn stars don't have the normal social media as much. Like there's a few of them out on Twitter now, Instagram. I think some of them are getting into Snapchats. But like they should have YouTube things where they're doing like non-nude vlogs. If I was managing an adult film star, like that would be mandatory. It's like you're here every Tuesday at 2:00 and we do one of these. And then we try to figure out other things for them to do, and they figure out like who. There's so much potential there. But like cam girls, they're protected. They're on their own. They manage themselves. They have a little setup in their room. Some of them buy poles or get in the bath. I don't know, but like there's so much there, and so like that's really the question it comes down to, and they show both sides, and I love that they show both sides. They show the girl that's so upset she's got so much pressure from her boyfriend and from her family and herself about not wanting to do it anymore, that she cries and goes home, and then you got 2-3 other girls that are like, yeah, whatever, and then they lay it out too. It's like there's essentially benchmarks. Like every 3 months, you should be taking an evaluation to see whether or not you want in, because you're going to do that anyways. Okay, so leaving all that crap behind, let's move to movies. I was so upset that this movie. Yeah, okay, and here's my review. 2 people out of 2 found this helpful, so my heart goes out to you if you actually see this and did that. But the cover, the title, and the description of the movie are balls. Here's the description of the movie. Graduate student in psychology who's always harbored a fear of the dark is forced to confront her worst nightmare in this creepy thriller. That's worthless. A better description is a child and her friend both dream they've been abducted, but were returned to the same night. As adults, one has become obsessed with that night, and the other is about to get their master's in psychology. After a traumatic incident where he believes the captors, oh, I misspelled that, are returning for them, she and others that suffered night terrors as children struggle to realize if the experience they had were just dreams or real after all. And that's perfect. That's a perfect description. Great movie. If you like horror at all, watch this. I can't say, you can't talk about it hardly at all without ruining it, but essentially, like, there's things that live in the dark, and they come after kids and they mark them. This is all the basic description. I'm not spoiling anything. They mark them, they release them, thus the night terrors, and they come back for them as adults. Or do they? That's the question. Is he going insane? That's the proposed idea of what happens. So the guy who's like losing his mind is talking to the girl with the psychology major, and they're trying to figure it out. Before I go to sleep. Oh, this one was pretty crazy. Trigger warnings all around for this one. Essentially, it's like a 50 First Dates if it went horribly wrong. Every night when she goes to sleep, her memory gets wiped. So when she wakes up, she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't recognize the man next to her. She doesn't know that they're married. And then she gets glimpses and stuff here and there. So she starts working out this journal. She starts leaving herself notes. It's very Memento-esque in a way. But she ends up remembering enough of the accident to realize what's going on. And then they've got to deal with that situation. So it's very intense movie. It's really good, and I'm very happy I watched it. But if you've ever been assaulted, it's probably going to set something off. It's just how it is. So I can't recommend it for people who may have had traumatic incidents like that. But let's move on to something more cheerful. Joyride 3, Roadkill. At the beginning of the movie, I was actually kind of on the killer's side because he grabbed these meth heads that like try to jump him for cash. And it's really creative, except like he didn't really have any motivation past the first thing. Like he was just like, I'm gonna fuck somebody up. Somebody gave him an excuse, so he ended up killing like 6 more people. Like the first couple movies, it felt like he was motivated. Like somebody was being a dick, so he's gonna take him down. Like there's like plan, thought, forethought. He wasn't just this mindless animal. But I guess the point is that he's a sociopathic psycho killer. But if nothing else, because honestly, it's a trucker killing fucking people. That's what this whole movie is. I'm not gonna pretend any differently. But can we not pretend cars are stealthy? No one's gonna sneak up on you with a car. These race cars are gonna be loud as shit. You're gonna hear it coming a mile off. And you're going to get out of the way. It's just exactly what it is. A big 18-wheeler is noisy as shit, especially in the dead of night. You're going to hear it rolling up on you, even if you can't see it. So fuck you, Joyride. Marvel's Avengers Assemble. I watched the first episode. Oh, and it actually says it's a 2-part episode. I watched the first part of the episode then. The voice work, the voice acting could have used some work, I'll be honest. That wasn't my big problem with it, though. My big problem with it was that we did a body switching with an epic villain who was dying in the first episode. Like, you rose right to the top. And you give everybody weird, awkward intros. And you kind of misuse Black Widow. She's not really an Avenger. And now with the movies muddling everything, Hawkeye's not really an Avenger either. Though he was in the classics. So, like, I'm for him being the snarky hero. And then you had Iron Man, just like, he's always a dick. Like, it's just fake. Tony Stark is a dick. But he was not very leadership at all. And like Tony in the comics, everywhere I've seen, he always wants to be in charge because that makes him feel special. So it's very interesting. And then we had a very controlled Hulk for episode 1. And maybe this is an extension of other things. But I didn't, let's just say I didn't enjoy it. So that was something I thought I was really going to enjoy and didn't. And now, something I did not think I was going to enjoy at all. I actually thought it was a cooking show. I didn't realize it was a sitcom. Young and Hungry. But typically ABC Family, like, it's kind of my jam. I get on with it pretty well. Watch Young and Hungry. If you don't like it after the first episode, turn it off because you're going to get a lot more of that. And there are some really cringeworthy moments. I noticed that in a lot of writing, like female comedy writers. It's that female comedy. I don't know how else to describe it because it's a very stereotypical type of comedy, but it's cringe comedy. Tina Fey does it a lot, which is why if you watch The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which is fantastic, there's a lot of like, oh my God, really? No, don't do that. There's a lot of that going on. and there's a fair amount in this. I wish it wasn't like that, but she actually has a lot of funny lines where she's like trying to recover, and so she like spouts off like a witty one-liner. And I really liked her best friend. She actually had the really good supporting characters all around. I kind of like them more than I like the main two characters. I'll be honest. But the whole season 1, it's from 2014, so we probably aren't going to get a season 2. Oh no, that's because it starts in the fall. So it could happen. I don't know if it will. But the whole first season is a pilot, and then young and something. And then it's, I don't know, it's pretty obvious where it's going. But yeah, it's definitely interesting where it goes. The short version is that this girl fails her way into becoming this billionaire's or millionaire's, whatever, personal chef, and then becomes an integral part of his life along with the rest of the staff. If you liked, what was he on? There's like the super gay Asian guy. I think he was a guidance counselor on a show, maybe Modern Family. Maybe. I don't know. But like he's in there. I really like him. I want to see more of him and stuff. And he's very gay. So don't be mad at the super gay Asian thing. He's super gay in this. But he owns it, and I like it. I think that's good stuff. Let's see. Okay, I don't really have much to say about that. Like, it was a nice thing, but it happened. It is one of those weird things because I feel like I don't know, maybe they did they probably cast the better actor. I'll admit that, like, into her role, but like her friend's cuter than she is. So it's like, it's one of those weird rules, like when you present yourself or you present shows, you don't have characters that are hotter, but like that could very well have led into the big part of the purpose too, is that she's supposed to come off as a, not homely, but like just young, out of place girl, who is outclassed by the fiance and possibly her cute, successful friend. She's looking at paralegal or something. But they're living together in an apartment in, I'm assuming, New York. So can't be doing that well. Surface. This is another one where I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, let me click on it. When an unsuspecting boy brings a mysterious sea creature ashore, he's shocked to learn he's discovered a new species that could change the world. That is not the fucking show. There are two major storylines that happen in the first season. The entire show is centered around, I don't know why it's called Surface. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's centered around a new species. I was going to say new mammal, sea mammal, but not exactly the case. This new mammal that's been sighted, and someone, government or an agency of some kind, is trying to cover it up. So they're taking over research stations. They're kicking people out. They're trying to hush them. So one storyline follows a marine biologist who happened to have seen them on a dive. The other side follows the boy who ends up, I don't know why they grabbed one egg. Like, when like kids like that probably would have grabbed a bunch of eggs. And how lucky was he? They grabbed the one egg that's going to hatch. I'll spoil that right now. So he takes it home and he hatches it and he starts raising it. So you've got this one kid with a domesticated, they never name the things, sea monster. And then you've got her dealing with the adults, and trying to figure out what's going on. And then, like, eventually, no, that's no spoiler. Those two stories are going to run together. And I can't wait for season 2. It damn well, but I'm actually going to go to IMDb right now. Young and Hungry didn't do this to me, but they're different shows. This is like an hour-long sci-fi drama, where Young and Hungry is like a little half-hour sitcom show. We better be getting a season 2. I'll check Young and Hungry while I'm here too. Because it's full of things. They definitely budgeted well. The monsters don't look stupid. Some of the CGI work is not the best because they're like trying to get the angles right. They're trying to reuse animations just because you're dealing with like 2 to 5 seconds worth of footage. No one's paying attention to the fucking monster at that point unless you're me and you're like, the monster's on screen. Lake Bell definitely not being sexist. I promise you. She is working her fucking tits for the show. I think to help distract at points, or just do anything for the ratings. And to me, that shows that she's a dedicated actress. Because she's definitely got it going on, but that's not her deal. She's beautiful, but she is a better actress by far than like someone you're just like, oh, let me look at titties. Plus, internet. So like she looks good in the part, but I mean, let's be serious here. That's not why you're watching the show. Yeah. No, it's from 2000. Oh crap! I didn't look at the year. It's from 2005 to 2006. I wiped my second season of this. I gotta tweet Lake Bell. That's insane. It's insane. God, and someone's trying to hit me up now. No? What's happening? Oh, it's a Facebook thing. Okay. And then Young and Hungry. Let's see if we get one of those at least. Don't make me type an ampersand. Thank you. We're going to wind down here quick. I do have to bitch about the between. Young and Hungry. Season 2. There is a season 2. Is it on ABC? Maybe it's on Hulu. What's it, 2014? So yeah, that's the current season. So there is a season 2. I have something to go watch. Not right this second. It's available on Amazon. So yay, yay! Something kind of good news there. Okay, so I am mad about the between because it sold me on the concept. The show's executing well thus far, except the main girl. I'm not really liking her, and she's not being a very good mom. So that's kind of pissing me off. But like with the idea that like they're going to be stuck in quarantine, everyone's kind of testing the law, and people are trying to enforce stuff, and it's not going to go well because like when you have rules and law written out, the people who break the law win. And so because there's a bunch of kids running around as criminals in the beginning, they now have the advantage when it comes down to deciding what's legal and what's not. So they're very quickly going to start running out of food once they start dropping some stuff in. And then, hell, that's what it is. So I want to, like, I may just wait until July, apparently, because this is on weekly releases. There's only 4 more episodes, though. Maybe I'll be that bored. And I honestly don't think that. I don't know. I'd rather just give me all of it. I'll watch it when I want to watch it. Why were there all these noises? Oh, Twitter's jumping off now. All right. There's not a whole lot from Hulu because I ended up watching 2 seasons of Moon Boy, so that's what most of this is. Real quick, iZombie, if I didn't talk about it already, this was the one. Yeah, so they're in the asylum where Major committed himself. His buddy kills himself. Liv gets put on the case along with the good detective. I want to say Santiago. I don't know why. But they go to it. She ends up being the brains of the crazy guy, so she ends up hearing the devil talking to him, which is interesting on its own because she's having psychic manifestations. And the ones that she have are very, very interesting because she figures out exactly what she should have done, which I was saying the whole time, which she should have fucking talked to Major and been honest with him, because now he's all up in arms, acting crazy about things, and she needs to talk to him so they can be honest and jump off with that together. All right. If you've ever watched or read Calvin and Hobbes, because it only exists in comic book form, there is a movie trailer for the Calvin and Hobbes movie that you should definitely watch, which is not Calvin and Hobbes movie. It's a movie based on what Calvin would end up like as an adult who never dealt with his psychosis over Hobbes. And I want that movie so bad. But Moon Boy is the closest thing I've ever seen to a Calvin and Hobbes TV show. It is a young Irish boy, who has an imaginary friend named Sean Mason, I think. It's supposed to be like the most common name in Ireland. It's the guy from IT Crowd. It's the Irish guy from IT Crowd. He is there as this young man's imaginary friend, so he's saying things that are very like 12-year-old-ish. They're having conversations that like are sometimes very grown up because you're being represented the inside of this child's head, and other times where it's very not trivial, juvenile, and then other times where it's just reinforcing him. It's like, oh, you are so smart. He's like, yes, I am. But it actually deals with like interesting topics. Like it deals with bullies. It deals with family, like having to deal with his sisters. He's got a very interesting family, and he's the only boy out of 4 kids. So him and his dad kind of at times are like, oh, they're the men. And then his dad is very much overwhelmed with women at points. And because all the women in his family are very domineering, he gets kind of shut out a lot. Which seems like another cartoon than Calvin and Hobbes, but it's interesting to see it meet this Calvin and Hobbes idea. And they're not long episodes. They're 22-minute episodes, and it's a British series, so they only like the first season's only 6 episodes. So season 2 looks like we're on episode 4. And I watched Pram Face apparently, and I like Pram Face, but I don't remember where I left off. So that's gonna be a whole thing to try to catch back up to where I want to go, and I still got to do Scrotal Recall. So that's gonna be fun. Moon Boy had Hendo and Boyle Wedding, which I definitely watched. So that's 6 episodes. So season 2 is complete. I really hope there is a season 3. But I actually was so enjoying seeing the guy who plays Sean Mason again that I've looked into IT Crowd, and apparently there's a 1-hour episode of IT Crowd for season 5, which I don't think it's an actual full season. I think it's just the 1 episode. But it's called The Internet is Coming. And of course, it's the same formula, but it's such a good one, especially with these characters. It's like, oh, we have some troubles. Like, so you go through with 48 minutes on the clock, you probably go through like 15 minutes a piece of like, oh, here's some setup, here's some dealing, here's some resolution. But it's IT Crowd, so it doesn't always resolve. So you're still surprised. It's still really funny. And I really enjoy that show. I want it to go on forever. But sadly, I know that it won't. Okay, so that brings us to our last platform of the day, HBO Now. If you have not started watching Silicon Valley, watch Silicon Valley. It's so funny. I'm really liking to the point where they got, because he's stepping up. He's being an asshole. You kind of see this split happening between Ehrlich and Mitch, is that his name? Definitely happening, and it's such an opportunity that gets fucked over by the stupidest of reasons in the worst of ways. So like they're constantly dealing with tragedy. So I'm wondering what the new direction is going to be after this episode, because it can't be to stay the course. It can't be. There's no way that makes any sense, unless they're just that much of an asshole to their money guy, to be like, look, you fucking owe us because you washed it out when we had the opportunity to make you enough money that you'd actually let us go. So it's ridiculous. And that whole situation would have been that's not how that situation would have happened. The idea is that they deleted premium content off their servers. No, it's not how that works. You have backups. Your backups, probably. If you are in adult films industry, where that is your product, it's not the one file that can be deleted through FTP. They shouldn't have even had fucking write access. That's nonsense. So Game of Thrones. Oh my God, what a beautiful job. Going into the north. I don't even remember if anything else happened. Cersei was being a bitch. I remember her being a bitch. I remember laughing at her because like nothing you want is ever going to happen. The Sparrow, sure enough, I called it. His plan is to root out the evil that is the royalty and sit on the throne himself. Fucker. So Tomlin better damn well be getting a war ready to go against the faith. Telling you, that's how it's going to go down. It's ridiculous. So not only are we going to see the Seven Kingdoms tear themselves apart, we are seeing all the battles to the east of Westeros with Tyrion on Jordy, and she's just being stupid at this point. Like, he's an asset. Use him. Even if it's not by her side, send him out as a scouting rep. Give him a reward to have him come into the city every now and again, but have him do border patrols. Have him fight for you because, God damn it, he's gonna fight. He's gonna win. It might as well be for you. And then Tyrion, I don't think he could have done better for himself. Whispering in the ear of the Queen of Dragons or the Mother of Dragons. Yes, that's where he needed to be because fucking everyone except Jaime Lannister wants to kill him. And you know what? Jaime probably wants to kill him at this point too. If he knows about Tywin. I don't know if he does or not. I don't remember. But let's get to the most important part. The beautiful, beautiful north. Snow is beautiful. I really like those scenes. They rode a shit ton of boats up there. The problem with boats in the olden days is that they're big, and if you run them into the shore, you break them. So you have to plant them in the water, anchor them, and set little dinghies. And then when the little dinghies are supposed to go out and get people that don't want to get on your fucking boat, spoilers, by the way, and to bring them back to the big boat so you can make multiple trips, it's all kind of fucked up. It doesn't happen very quickly. So if something happens while you're doing that, you don't have a lot of options. The whole point is to be prepared and make the smart move from the beginning, which the wildlings don't want to fucking do. I swear to God, their battle plan, and I said this on Twitter, was to die in a fucking shitty tree fort. Because I don't understand how they thought that was ever going to hold anything. It's not like you're going to keep the wolves out. Fucking invite the wolves in anyways because you need to eat. What you want to keep out is the fucking White Walkers and the undead, and you weren't doing that. They were sitting there for I don't know how long, way too long apparently. And they just stocked up the dead's army. I like that we've got a giant. I don't know where the other giants are. They killed one at the wall. But I just want so much more. They put so much detail on those White Walkers. I want one episode where, and we'll take the mother. The mother put her daughters on the boat and then went to go fight. That died by the children of the undead. the undead children rather. I want to. We'll just have the camera follow her and have her watch the White Walkers talk or do whatever they do. And I want to see it from their perspective. I want to know more about the White Walker culture, what their plan is, what their purpose is. Because, like, what happens if they actually conquer the world in ice? Like, is that really the plan? Do they eat? What's going on there? Because apparently they die really fucking easy. Like, Sam killed the one with Dragon Glass, but Valerian Steel can actually stop. I don't know why Valerian Steel can stop it. Can stop the magic of their little ice things and shatter that motherfucker. But I'm wondering if they shatter anyways, you just have to hit them with something. But you can't get close enough to make it happen because of their frozen crazy swords, which were really cool. The one thing that really did bother me was the mist, because the people just disappeared. Like they weren't ripped away. They didn't die fighting. They were sucked out into the mist. I don't know why, like, the stick stopped them, but it did. So, like, once the wall came down, why couldn't you just send the mist over them again? Avoid the whole battle. Like, I'm not given enough explanation to be okay with certain things. But it's a very spectacle episode. You're supposed to be like, oh, look at this. Look what we can do. Look what we can do. And spectacle's not enough. Give me some substance, please. But that's going to be the end of this for today. So be safe, and I will see you, or you will see me next time. Bye.